Native people are individuals who come from various upbringings and belief systems. To understand modern traditions and beliefs, it's important to understand the history of events that have threatened them. While there remains a strong sense of pride surrounding Native heritage, it has been increasingly hard over several decades to preserve cultural practices, traditions, and language. Native people have suffered unimaginable trauma over several decades. After white contact, Native people died in huge numbers from both war conflict and disease. Next, Natives were forced from their homelands into smaller, resource-scarce reservations, which caused more loss and trauma. And around this time, there was a huge push to eliminate Native culture and language. Children were taken from their families and put into boarding schools. Their hair was cut, they were dressed in uniforms, and they weren't allowed to speak their native language. That strong sense of family connection and collective spirit were threatened, and the emotional trauma continued. Native people were second-class citizens in the United States, and their human rights were not recognized or respected. In addition to these, the introduction of commercial tobacco, alcohol, and drugs into Native communities has been devastating to cultural preservation over several generations. Over the years, many Native people have stayed living on reservations, but many have also moved to cities and other communities. As a result, there are varying degrees of cultural connection when it comes to traditions and beliefs. There are some Native people, especially elders, who still follow Native traditional medicine, either instead of Western medicine or in combination. Many Native communities still have traditional healers or medicine men who are consulted for treatments and care. Next, there are Native people who get care from Western clinics, but still have strong cultural connection through traditional ceremonies, things like powwow and sweat lodge. And these ceremonies and practices are unique among each community. Finally, there are Native people who don't have any cultural traditions or beliefs that directly impact their healthcare. When working with Native people, it's important to ask questions about cultural traditions and beliefs and how they play into their healthcare decisions. For many, this interest in understanding and respecting their beliefs will create trust and rapport. Ultimately, traditions and beliefs should not stop someone from thinking about being in a clinical trial.